Challenge is an initiative created by T-Mobile for Business on a mission to help American small business owners navigate the ups and downs of entrepreneurship. Well, who's better to tell us that besides some amazing entrepreneurs? I'm going to introduce right now Ariel Lopez, founder of NAC, Nate Evans, founder of Nathan Evans Jr. Group, and Visionary the Poet, award-winning poet. I'm going to start off with you, Visionary. You mentioned social capital. What exactly does that mean?
We've all heard the phrase, your network is your net worth. And I think social capital is that network. I think that we are only as strong and as valuable as the community that surrounds us. Our businesses are like seeds, right? And despite our greatest efforts, there are external factors that influence whether or not that seed blossoms into a plant.
I see you all nodding your head, so obviously you agree. Now, Nate, what role does community play in making your business last?
To me, the community is everything. For me, I'm looking to be an answer to a problem. And when you show up consistently with that community, they'll start to seek out your products and services.
What would you say to those people out there who believe that, well, because I decided to hang up a shingle on this business, come on, you got to hook me up. You got to support me.
I would say that it's not our obligation to support your business, right? You want to have quality product, quality services, and you actually want to solve a problem. If you're not doing that, then none of us are obligated to actually support that entity and that business. So you have to change your perspective on the reasons why you even started the business in the first place.
Are you critical on yourself about your business?
Yeah, I'm very critical, but I also show myself grace because this is a journey that I'm learning each and every day.
You know what? I think that's part of the community, though, right? Because if you show yourself grace, don't beat yourself up too much, but ask people and be a little bit vulnerable, and don't beat yourself and say, how can I be better? Am I doing the right thing?
Yeah.
Isn't that what a community's for? So Ariel, let's talk about NAC really quick. What is NAC?
So we have recruiting software that prevents resumes from getting lost in a company's system. So if you've ever applied for a job, and I know it's been a very long time for you, but if you got ghosted or you got one of those instant canned rejection emails, there's a good chance that the recruiter never saw your application to begin with. So we make sure that doesn't happen.
Tell me, how do you do that? How do you go, hey, yo, I'm back here. I'm back up top.
So essentially, when resumes come in, we make sure that every single applicant is vetted properly and that they're accounted for in a recruiter system. So if you apply for a job at Twitter and you're running up against 5,000 other people, we will increase your visibility and try to give you some feedback as well, even if you don't get the job today.
What would you say to other founders right now who want to raise capital?
Yeah, it's incredibly difficult. Black entrepreneurs receive less than 2% of venture capital. So the tips that I have for anyone that is thinking about securing funding, that angel round, seeking out angel investors, these are wealthy individuals that believe in you and ultimately will become a catalyst for you in those early stages to help you grow and scale your business. Grants, these are investments that you don't have to pay back. My company was a recipient of a grant from Google. And then also looking into localized resources, state and government resources, SBIR grants specifically. So these are small business grants that you may be able to qualify for.
I like that, free money, right? Grants. The money's out there. You just have to understand where to find the pockets and now how to communicate that you're worth the money. And I mean, why wouldn't we talk to somebody who's an excellent communicator like Visionary to talk about that networking effect and connecting with your networking? I know that Ariel touched on it a bit, but let's talk more about that.
I think the most important thing is to focus on networking across as opposed to up. In my experience, the most impactful relationships have come and bloomed from a place of mutual value. Secondly, I think it's really important to show up in person. A lot of us in this social media era prefer writing algorithms over shaking hands, and yes, utilize that resource and that tool for everything that it is, but at the same time, know that people still value connection, so shake those hands.
I couldn't agree with you more. You separate yourself when you stop hiding behind the screen, and we're pack animals. We still love to communicate with people. So Nate, how do you know where to focus your energy and time when you're growing a business?
For me, it was all through experience. So I had to really understand the power of my no and when and where to actually use it. Quick example, let's say I have 2 opportunities to do speaking engagements. 2 corporations want to bring me out on the same day. One is a corporate organization with 30 employees. They have $10,000 they want to pay me. The other organization is 20 superintendents who oversee their own school districts whose students are struggling with anxiety and depression. However, they only have $7,500. It would seem as if it would make more sense to go with the $10,000. But the reality is, this is where I need to know where to exercise my no and put my energy. So for my business model, it makes more sense to go with the superintendents, because if I add value to them, potentially I can add value to thousands of students over time, as well as earn income. So with me understanding where to put that time and that energy based on my goals, it now allows me to focus on the areas where I can be most effective. So if it brings me money, but it takes me further away from the vision of why I created the business, then I have to kindly decline and put that energy and effort elsewhere.
Yeah, you're playing the long game at the end of the day,
Yes.
right? You don't want the immediate dollar. It's fine, but then don't be in business if you're not going to play the long game. This is a
Absolutely.
marathon, so you're planting seeds for future growth, and that's a great way to grow the business. Ariel, let's talk about other ways to grow the business.
Yeah, I think it's really important to spend time evaluating your business model and understanding who's needed to grow your business. I learned the hard way. I spent thousands of dollars using contractors for software development. And if I could go back, I just would have hired an engineer outright. I think just taking some time to be strategic about what the road ahead looks like for you and who needs to be on your team to help you reach those milestones and help you reach your goals. I think in terms of sourcing strategy, I always get questions around where to find the people. So outside of LinkedIn and Indeed, there are specialty sites like the Mom Project, if you're passionate about helping women and mothers return to the workforce. There's NSBE, which is the National Society of Black Engineers. I think Twitter is a great way not only to find talent, but also to enhance your employer brand and help people understand what exactly it is that you're building and how they can get involved.
I think to add to that, the most important thing is when you bring people into your world, your community, your business, you need to know the basics of what you're hiring them for. You may want to get a social media manager, but if you don't know anything about social media, well, if they do a great job, well, they can hold you hostage to it, right? And say, well, I'm leaving. Or if they do a bad job, you wouldn't know it's a bad job because you don't know any of the basics, right? So you at least need to know some of the basics of some of these things and then be able to judge people and grow your company. So first of all, thank you for all that you do and being the voice of entrepreneurship in this country, whether it's showing them the vision, operating it as well, or getting them in front of the right people for the right reasons. And thank you to T-Mobile for Business.